Hey, welcome to Ponytails Talking Pigskins. My name is Laurie Fitzpatrick, and I'm here to break down one player that came out of the draft from UNC. As you guys can see, Javonte Williams is who we will be covering today. So, Javonte is 5'10, he's 220. He might shed some weight or kind of just build more muscle going into the NFL, but he's a guy that can basically break tackles. He is one of the best collision balance attributes in the game. Honestly, even not even playing in the NFL, I still think he's going to be a guy that his talent is translatable. He's a guy that led the nation in avoided tackles with 75. He got over 1,000 rushing yards, which was 13th most in program history for UNC. He's just basically a guy you can rely on, and whether that's through the trenches or towards the outside, he's a downhill runner, just core strength in general. He explodes through contact. He's just hard to stop when he has the ball and he runs behind his pads. He's going to be a guy that you're not going to bring down with simple arm tackles. You're going to have to gang tackle this guy. He has a mean stiff arm. He has a pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say he's super elusive, but he's a guy that plays well on his feet. He's broad, just a powerful guy. So I played running back when I played women's professional football. So breaking down running backs are the best for me. It's something that I love to see. And LaDainian Tomlinson was my favorite back, and he had a mean stiff arm. So there's some parts of his game, that reminds me of Javonte Williams. And I'm not comparing them to him. That's not his comp or anything. But just kind of giving you a little background about where I came from. And we're gonna pretty much go over a couple plays that I have drawn up here of Javonte Williams last year in the 2020 season. So if you'll see him go through, you'll see him with inside zone reads run style, but I think he's better with a lead blocker. He relies on his lead blockers a lot. You'll see some pulls coming from the guards. Sometimes you'll see two offensive linemen make pulls, and we'll just kind of break it down and go through each one of these plays here. So you'll see a lot of times where a wide receiver is actually going to come across the field. So what that's going to do is going to create a shift, and it's going to give Javonte a little bit of leverage. So if he wants the play to go to the outside or one side of the field, you're going to see maybe one or two guys run to the opposite side. So that's going to force the defenders to also go to the opposite side, which then makes the field uneven. And you can already see here, this isn't, hopefully it's not going to be something that it happens in the NFL, but it might, depending on which defenses, play man. So right already you have two guys on offense who ran across the field. Boom, right underneath the line, and then this wide receiver. And so see how much room he has here on the left side? A lot of room. So he decides to just bounce it right out. And the amazing thing about Javonte, and we're going to see this a lot, is he's going to bounce off of tackles. No matter what, he's bouncing off of that tackle. So he's able to kind of, run behind his pads. And what that means when you hear people say it is he's going to, when you want to go hit a guy with the ball, right? The first thing you're going to hit sometimes can be like his chest or like his waist if you go make the tackle. A guy that runs behind his pads, you're going to hit his shoulder pads first. You're going to hit his helmet first. And so that still allows his legs to churn and move forward. And so you always hear about leverage. And so if you can kind of bend down, if you can get lower than the defender that's trying to tackle you, there's a good chance that you're going to bounce off that tackle. And that's what happened there. So we can see the shift happen, so that opens up. Number 9 goes in, which was the worst ever, because then there's nobody on the outside. Oh, there you go. My video card kind of is failing on me. See, he lowers his shoulder and boom, he gets right in there. So the same thing happens again. A wide receiver runs across the field, and that spreads open that defense. And you have a puller, the left guard. He pulls over. He gets that outside guy, so he only has one man to beat, and then use his acceleration to get through to score this touchdown here. So it's just one guy that he has to beat. And, you know, like I mentioned before, he has the best collision balance. So, you know, he's a guy that you see in the gym on those, like, on those balls that he can balance on and catch a ball and use his core. Because he's a guy that isn't going to go down if you just give him arm tackles. So here we have a 3-man front. And so it's going to be a counter and a pull from his right guard is going to come over. He's a pretty fast guard too. You see how quickly he got up on his feet. Boop. He was right over. And now he's going to pick up number 1. And so now Javonte has a choice here. Since this tackle went to the second level of the defense, he sees that he can go up here and he can either go straight or he can go to the outside, because you see his receiver there has his back turns towards him. And that's the number one thing you want to see as a back. You want to see your offense with their back turned towards you. That means they completely is driving that guy out of the play. So sometimes you want to follow the backs of your offense. So he went through he went through the looks like the C gap here, or B gap, and now he has a choice to either cut it out, but he has to juke this guy now. So now he jukes, cuts inside, 2 tackles, 3 tackles he beat, and now see, he doesn't have that getaway speed where he's going to get away from a guy, but he will take you the distance and make that big play. And then someone like Michael Carter can come in and, you know, get a little toss to the outside and use their speed to get around the edge. So he's definitely good when he's paired with a faster, speedy guy, but he's a guy to give you those big plays right off the bat. So once again, you have another guy on your offense coming across the line. So that's gonna move number 54 out of the play completely. Let's move that back. 54 out of the play. So now he just has number 30, who had no chance, because Javonte Williams runs from behind his pads. So what a great move here. So he runs in a little bit because he knows he's going to bounce it out. And this defender, one thing about playing defense, you're at the, you're always on your heels trying to figure out, okay, what's this guy going to do? So you always have to react. And so if a ball carrier puts you in a place, he knows you're going to react. So one thing, he's going to move you to the inside so he can bounce cut to the outside and give himself room, because he's going to use the sideline here. So sorry, my video gets a little scrambled. But he bounced it right outside and boom, he sees daylight. I don't know why that defender just gave up, but maybe they were already losing by a lot. Now we see him in a couple pass protection plays, which is just something that makes him a 3-down back. So he's able to pretty much just hold this guy, this rusher, pretty well. Like, he's on his toes and he's still able to hold him. That just shows his strength. Another pass protection. He picks up the stunt. He's pretty much getting in front of his quarterback to see, all right, which guy am I going to have to knock out? So he looks to the left. Is he a threat? Then he looks to the right. Is he a threat? And he can see, yeah, his offensive lineman is having some trouble. So that's the guy that he picks up. Pretty much an all-out blitz here. And he's able to pick up the guy that's going to give him. So you see his head on a swivel. He sees that guy rushing in, and boom, he takes him out. Beautiful stuff, man. He's really able to hold that block really well. And this is just kind of showing the way that how he's low And like I said, it's all about leverage. So he's able to keep his knees low. He's waiting for which guy to block, and boom, he just comes in and makes that play. Here we have inside zone read. Oh, wait a minute. This is the team that he got drafted to.
Force his hips to deliver a blow, or how he can just
Here's a pretty good play with two pullers. He has his left tackle to come around, and also, no way, that is that his center? Yeah, that's his center. Oh man, I love when centers are active. You see, like a guy like Jason Kelsey, I'm pretty sure he's pretty active too on his feet.
Horizontally dead-legged
but see how he trusts in his blockers. Wow.
From an offense.
So he had two guys with pretty good angle to get him, and he's able to kind of lower his pads and get away from the tackles here. Beast. Beast. Okay, so we have an inside zone read here. So an inside zone read is when your linemen, they're going to pick up any guy that's shaded within their area. So this guy's going to pick up him. All right. He's going to try to basically pick up this guy with him. Whole block him. Now, if that player in front of you is already blocked, then your offensive lineman goes to the next level to block the next guy. So once again, we see a wide receiver coming around the back. So that's going to spread open number 30 and 13, number 31 and 13. So you're going to give that space. Actually closes them a little bit, but you'll see that this lineman right here, he goes to block him, and he doesn't care about the outside rusher because it's not even play side, and he knows that Javonte Williams is a beast anyway. Oh, because you got this wide receiver to block the guy coming to the backside, so he can now get to the second level. And now all Javonte has to do, as a blocker, you're gonna let that guy, that defender, dictate where you're gonna go. So if the defender decides to go to the left side, you're going to block him and let him take you. I'm going to let him take me out of the play because I know that my back is elusive enough and he has the vision and patience behind the line of scrimmage to juke to the inside or cut back in. So as an offensive lineman, you're going to let him take you where he wants to go. Let him go wherever he wants to go because that back has a decision to make the read. So here you go. He's going to let him go. He tries to block him, but, he's going to let him go to the inside if he wants to go to the inside. And so he pretty much just makes the read perfectly. So good. So here, Javonte actually moved from the slot into the backfield. And they played with two backs. So Javonte is he's being picked up by two guys here. So this Javonte Williams coming over in the flat is actually going to take two defenders out of the play. Or just number 7 kind of ran around and thought that he can get him from the backside, but see, he said, get out of the way. Yeah, and that just, gives Michael Carter the room to kind of do what he wants to do. Yeah, and so he's not the typical back that's always going to be catching out of the backfield, but he's smooth. He makes the catch, he puts it in, he tucks it high and tight, and he puts it on the correct arm, and he does his best to get upfield because Javonte Williams has that acceleration. He's able to get past people. So as long as he has one blocker, and these wide receivers, man, on UNC block the crap out of the defense. So he just has to get through that one guy, and boom, he just gets right through about two guys there. And that breakaway speed is something that you want to see. But he has time to learn. I know you can't teach speed, but you can teach a guy to, get lighter, or you can teach him how to maybe run on the toes, to be able to, to get a little bit faster, be a little bit leaner. Oh, this is that flat route I was talking about, where he grabs he pulls two defenders to his side. So he made a lot of people watch him, because of the serious threat that he had. So that's pretty much all I have on Javonte Williams. There are definitely more plays out there that you guys can see, but I just wanted to show you how important his offense was with opening up that defense and really helping him out. But his ability to break those tackles and have that really good balance will definitely translate to the next level, and he just has to get bigger and stronger and continue to work on his core. But I think he's a guy that can take over the starting position for sure. I know they just picked up Boone, I believe. So he's a guy from Minnesota that could play really well. He's a special teams guy, but he's someone that could catch out of the backfield, especially, and make those big plays. And they can kind of switch out Javonte Williams and Boone to be able to have that tandem. Melvin Gordon's still there, but I just think as running backs become older and older, it's just something where you're not gonna be as good as you were when you were in the beginning of the league. So it's just running backs get ran into the ground. Look at Zeke, for example. He got ran into the ground with Dallas. Then he kind of took a couple years off where he wasn't as productive, and then he kind of became productive again. So backs are just really taken advantage of, and their best years are their first 3 or 4 years, where they just can really get going and really love that offensive line. And that's what Javonte Williams love, his blockers, man. He's someone that will trust them, and he'll do anything to kind of have them block for him just so he can get to that second level. So just watch out for him, when he's on the Broncos. I think that he's a guy that can take over that starting position, and it's only a matter of time. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned to my next article on I'm writing something up on actually Tyson Campbell right now, a corner. So watch out for that, and I'll have a video on him as well. Thank you so much, guys.